I am not Carmen Barsody, though I would be proud to be her. But these are her words, her reflection for this morning. Sometime last year, I gave a reflection in which I began with, "I am white." I think I began by repeating it a few times to add a little weight to it. I can't remember all that I said in that reflection, but I find myself needing to say it again. I am white. And what it means to have white skin is something I need to pay attention to. This past November, Selena Lane began working with us at the Faithful Fools. Some of you know Selena. She was the director of Up on Top's after-school program for 5 years. The knowledge and connections Selena brings in terms of access to city resources and contacts to get people into housing or address issues of eviction, as well as making everyone capable and accounting in the work required, is invaluable to our work of accompaniment and advocacy at Faithful Fools. Though I have been doing this work in San Francisco for more than 24 years, I am learning a great deal from her. Within the first weeks of her working with us, Selena asked if we had lanyards with ID badges. In her short time with us, she was already engaged in complex accompaniment situations with a couple who was moving from an SRO into a new supportive housing unit. Coordination and collaboration with management in both buildings was necessary. I was curious about her question, as we'd never used ID badges as Faithful Fools, but certainly we could make one for her if she would like. A few days later, Selena and I went together to another supportive housing unit to assist a woman who'd been referred to us as she was at risk of eviction. Selena was the one who was the main lead and had set up the meeting. Whenever we can, we go 2 by 2 as Faithful Fools, especially when situations are more complex and a bit overwhelming. It was in walking into the building, and then later, as we were conversing with the building manager and her caseworkers, that I noticed we were not equally received. We both are generally confident and capable in the work we do, and either one of us could engage with the managers, but when I noticed that there was a deference to me, I stepped back. I had to check myself at that moment. Did I put myself forward? Did I unconsciously put myself in the customary place of taking the lead? Did I unconsciously... We walked into the building together, partners in this mission. Who was conscious of all the dynamics in those few moments? I'm not sure. Selena carried on without missing a beat, exchanging the necessary information, and we left with a commitment to return to assist the woman needing assistance. That night, I woke up around 1 a.m., and the first words that flashed through my mind were, "My white skin is my lanyard, my ID badge." I had obviously been working out in my sleep Selena's request for an ID badge, as well as our experience of the afternoon before. In all of my years of working with people and having to interact with management and case managers of all kinds in all settings, I have not needed a badge to justify my presence or receive answers to questions as I have assisted people. My white skin has been my assumed pass. I will not ever know what it is to walk through the world as my colleagues do, who are rejected or violated for being Black and Asian or not fitting a gender norm. But I can have empathy. Empathy being the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. As a woman and a woman-founded organization, I do keenly know the pain and struggles of existing in a very white, male structure world, being excluded, dismissed, considered naive. And I'm well aware that there is work that must be done to turn empathy and awareness into action, for this is not an isolated incident. When I shared this reflection with Selena, she listed off a number of other incidents of being stopped from entering places this past week that I had not been aware of. I call myself and all of us not only to notice, but to name aloud what we notice, to pay close attention to our own accustomed or intentional ways that keep others out of buildings and rooms, out of meetings and decision-making processes, and insist that we correct our ways. For as Dr. King said, in the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. Here ends Carmen's reflection.